Hi, Tea Society. Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we're checking out TWICE Nayeon's Me full version this time. Again, I've heard the shorter little preview versions that we got way back, but I'm very excited for this. I recently rewatched Nayeon's pop music video because what other song is more summer coded? So I was like, gonna actually watch the music video instead of just having the song in my rotation. I'm so ready to hear a whole song that's just gonna be her voice. Always a treat. It's gonna be a ride anyway. Vibey. It's so good. Wait, okay, I don't want to interrupt, but this song just takes off. I think one of my favorite things about this performance from her is like, Nayeon, we know her as a vocalist, right? Like, she is such a beautiful vocalist. She covers a bunch of the like ad-libs and things in TWICE music, especially like early on. She's one of the main ones, I feel, who did a lot of that and still does. But I feel like it was something that like really made her stand out within the dynamic of the group. And I love that we have such a like fast cadence to a bunch of this. I know that we've gotten little like kind of melodic rap kind of things from Nayeon in other songs, like more recent stuff, but I think that it works so well with this because that drawn out me, right, with that melody stands out so much, and it's such a great contrast. And I love the little like like the lip up is so fun too. I love all the like don't, right, like this repetitive of don't this, don't that, whatever. I think that's fun as well, like having this repeated structure to the lines while you're like again having this faster delivery with it. And especially since don't has such a like precise like diction to it, right, because it has those two stops, not to get like super linguistics on you guys, but the like D and T sound that kind of bookend that word are so sharp, they're stops, right? So to have each line have that like don't, right, repeated, and then you have the end of it where it's taste, chase, right, we have that more elongated sound there at the end with those S sounds. I think is really fun as well to have those like contrasts in the choice of the words that we're using, and all leading up to that like melody on me as well. And I love that it's like vibey in the production, and then we have all those layered vocals in. So good. Love the beat coming in. Not even gonna talk about the teeth line. I love the echo too. I just love how she plays with her voice. I know, okay? You don't need me to sit here and tell you that Nayeon is an incredible vocalist, okay? I've said it before, you have ears. Really fast-paced pickup, and then having those melodies. I love how soft her voice is. We've got like the layering of multiple voices. It doesn't sound like we have pushed forward vocal track for that like me melody. A lot of the time when you have a bunch of like lighter layered vocals, you'll have a track that's at like the push to the front of it, that's a main one. And I like that this one is just like all of those layered vocals like soft and blending together. It almost sounds like we have two like parallel ones, which kind of goes with that echo that we had before, but these ones are overlapping now. Not only is it this elongated melody, but it's softening out compared to the very clear like closure that she has on her vocal cords for the rest of the melodies and like the verse and everything. But I also love that we have that kind of echo where things are like out of sync, right? Where you have that like echo happening. And then when she says me, we have the syncing up of those vocals. I think that's really fun with the story of the song, right? That's like, don't do this, don't do that. I don't do these things, but I do these things. Like I might not be your expectations, but I am like this, right? Like I do have all these great qualities. Don't play with me, right? Don't sit there and say that I'm not going to be a treasure for you. There's attitude to this song, and I love that. Clearly there's this expectation versus reality that we're playing with, where like the expectation isn't lining up, right, with the two things. You have this like echo happening, call and response, which is fun. And then when you have me being sung, we have it all syncing up together, where it's like the person that I actually am makes sense, and it all kind of lines up together, where yeah, I might have a bunch of different interests and parts of my like personality, and there's lots of different facets to who I am, but it all comes together to make me, right? And I think that's really fun. And then all of these little melodies that she's doing here, where we have the little vocal fry like on the onset of that first phrase, and then all these little runs that she's just putting in because she can. Just talent envy, like the talent aggression just coming through. I'm like, it's fine, whatever, I'm not jealous, I don't even care. Layered vocals. Ma'am, I want to imagine being sorry. It's fine. I was possessed for a moment. I will behave myself. I'm recording this in Pride Month. I don't know when this is coming out, but when I'm recording it, let it be known. I have a moment. But I also love, like I was saying before about how we had don't, right? With this like hard sounds with those two like DT sounds, right? We have her elongating it out with that like elongating that O sound to soften it out in this part. And then even though when you do it right, having those do it repeated, again, those DT sounds. And I like that it's a repetition, but it's also like proper grammar because English is weird. I think that it's fun to have something where you're playing with repetition, but it's not just having something repeated. It's actually like part of the actual structure of the sentence. I think that's fun. Also love the I'm yours to lose. Like, I think that encapsulates a lot of like this song of being like, don't do too much before the finish line, of being like, you're so close. And I feel like we're in a danger zone of you might lose my interest in this moment. Choose wisely. I'm yours to lose. You will lose something and it will be significant, right? Like, I love the confidence of it and the way that we have this dreamy production in the chorus where it softens out a bit, and then we have a little bit more of that beat pad coming in a bit heavier with the claps in the verses, right? Like, it just softens out a lot more with the chorus, and I think that's really fun too, to just have this softer sound when it comes to her kind of being very confident and steadfast in like who she is, right? It's a fun way to show like a bunch of her talent, right? As a vocalist, not only is she being braggadocious in the verses, but she's showing off all of these different parts of like who she is as a performer. And this is just the song. Like, I'm not even looking at a performance, and I'm sure that is also great, right? Of being like, see all that you could lose right now, right? See what you could have. Don't mess it up. Having that be the core of this song while she's doing all of these things with her voice and showing all this personality and control that she has of her voice, I think is also just a good way of lining up the narrative with the performance. So good. And so like we got a little bit of that lower range. We like the mixing there with the voice on the one side. Yeah, I also would like you to wait a minute. I love all the layering of the vocals there because we have the layered like soft vocals on the me part, then we have the kind of other vocal track coming out with the don't play with like that line, but then we have this also vocal buried in the back where she's doing, it's distorted, it almost sounds like an older like microphone or like radio or something, or like phone call maybe, like it sounds like this recording kind of buried in all of this kind of static, which I think is fun too. And then you have that little like harmony ad lib, which I love, also being layered in, right? Like you have all these different voices. It's like I was saying before, of having a bunch of different parts of her personality and like who she is as a person and like a performer, right? Like adding in all of these different like layers because it's all her voice, right? And saying there's all these kind of facets to who she is layered together. It's really fun to fill out the sound with her voice. And again, shows off the different parts of her voice that she has control over. But I think it's also lining up that narrative of I have all of these parts of who I am and all of it layering together. And I think it's fun to have that distorted voice because I think that it also goes with some of the narrative of, again, like expectation versus reality, or what someone might perceive or expect of you versus like who you are. And I think that goes with that back and forth line of don't cook but I have good taste. It's like a fun play around with like that concept, but it's also I might not meet this expectation but I do have other qualities, right? So having that distorted voice I think is leaning into some of that of like something, a voice that's literally buried underneath all of this static, I think is very symbolic of all of that. Also just a bop. That, love it.
Wait a minute, I might just let you. Oh, do you get it? I might just let you hit it sideways. Leave you by the end of the day. Treat you like a holiday. We ain't going no place fast. On the summer day, sip on me like lemonade. So I'm gonna pray for rain. You ain't going no place fast.
Yeah, I think that was in the original little like snippet, and I think I might have blocked it out for sanity reasons. I like that we got a lower part of her range with the like bass beat pad coming in. I think those are all the thoughts I feel comfortable sharing with the internet of how I feel about that particular part of the song. I might be blushing a little bit. Look, after some of the stuff we got in This Is For, I feel like I've been through a roller coaster, and not the TWICE coaster that I signed up for, okay? Look, I remember we were singing about peaches, and I was like, hang on a second. So I just feel like I'm too queer to comment further. A general summary of my thoughts is, I'll let her sing again. I like the shift in her voice there. Layered vocals. I love that melody so much. Whoa. It's fun with the mixing. Ooh, I like the little echo at the end, but it's also fun with the like me being repeated and it's going around in different parts of the mixing from one side to the other. Also, I was thinking, because we have that like me melody, right? Because it's like me, where it feels like it's turning in circles or whatever, right? Which I think is really fun for the melody, but there's also something like dizzying or whatever about it. And I think that that is intentional too, of being like, I'm gonna surprise you, I'm going to like make you off kilter. The moment that you think that you've pinned me down into like a specific expectation or image of who I'm supposed to be, I'm going to surprise you and have some other element to bring in. And then that mirrored in the like like me being repeated, and it's like it's switching from one side of the mixing to the other, and then sometimes it's in like both, and it feels like her voice is like surrounding the like audio like mixing, which I think is also really fun. And I love just how we have all the different vocals being layered, and again, phenomenal vocalist like Nayeon, you might as well play around with a bunch of that. But I love that in that last chorus we had again some of that like echo call and response, but I love that it was more like an ad lib of her actually doing like a different melody instead of like just repeating something or doing something like slightly different. It stood out more as its own thing, so it wasn't just like an echo or call and response. It was like her adding other elements into the performance, which I think is fun just to build up some of the chorus without it needing to be something like really big, right? Like the song doesn't have this huge sound, so she's not trying to build up a bunch of like momentum in terms of like the power of her voice. She's more playing with the performance of it, so I think that was a really good way of like adding in other elements to it. I fear the fact that there is a performance, like live performance of this song, if just listening to the audio has me flustered and gay panicking a little bit. I don't think I can watch her perform it. I'm not going to today. It might end up on Patreon at some point if I decide that my mental health doesn't have to mean anything, but I don't think I could, especially like actually seeing it live, like in person. I don't think I'm strong enough. I don't think I could survive a TWICE concert. I think I would just ascend to a different plane of existence. You would never hear from me again. I really do think that this song is such a good way of like showing off a bunch of different parts of Nayeon's voice, which like obviously she's done a lot of phenomenal performances throughout the discography of TWICE, even just the parts that I've heard, which is not nearly all of it. But I think that this one is such a good show of like, it has some of her lower range, it has some of that higher range, it has ad libs, it has the main melodies, it has harmonies, it has more that faster cadence, those more like elongated like vocal runs. Like there's so many different parts of this song and her kind of switching up how the structure of the song works that I think lends really well to the narrative. It shows off a lot of her talent and her being able to do a solo performance, so I think that it does a really good job of that, and also has such a strong, confident character for her to play in a performance, as much as I don't think that I would be able to survive it. I think that she could do a really good job of just like really commanding that the performance and the stage. And when you're doing a solo performance, you need to be able to fill that whole performance now by yourself, especially in the context of a concert where you're there as like a group, right? As opposed to doing like a solo concert, it's a little bit different to take that energy that you can have with all of the groups of like all the members of TWICE, and now you have to like bring that same amount of energy in terms of being able to keep people's like attention and keep the momentum of the concert going by yourself, right? So it's a little bit of a different dynamic to navigate, and I think that this song is a really good choice for her. And I do love that it shows off a bunch of control of her voice as opposed to just like pure power, which we definitely know that she can do, right? She could have just belted a bunch of gorgeous notes and we would have loved it as well. But I think that having a song that really showcases a bunch of her like character that she can bring to her performances and control of her voice is a great way of utilizing a solo performance for her, and a great song. Like I'm dancing the whole time. It has such a good vibe to it and like confidence to it that it's just like a really fun song to listen to, even if it does remind me once again how much I love women. Not that I'm mad about that, I'm just reaffirms it. But I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me. You can click this playlist to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so next time I post a TWICE reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.